So I got asked the other day, why do you teach walking? Why walking? What was it about walking that made you want to focus on it? And for me, the answer really comes in two parts. The first part is really about what happened with me and with my relationship with my own walking, my own sense of physical fitness, my own sense of support when I'm out and about. And the other has to do with my experience working with clients around the issues of standing and walking. So as a beginning Feldenkrais teacher, I was, of course, very enthusiastic. I got a lot of gains from the lessons, and I had really gotten into Feldenkrais to learn how to play the piano better. That was really my primary interest, even before I had figured on becoming a Feldenkrais teacher. But after a few years of working full-time as a practitioner, I noticed that when I was commuting in the city, walking to the train, walking up the stairs, walking down the stairs, standing on the train, sitting on the train, walking to the office, there was a lot I didn't understand. I wasn't really leveraging very well the knowledge I had gained from doing the lessons on the floor. I didn't understand how to apply that so much in my upright life. And that's really what the work promises, which is that these gains, this knowledge you're going to gain, the way you organize yourself and your activities, is really you're going to be able to take that from the floor or from whatever position the lessons are studied in, and you're really going to spread that into the rest of your life. It's going to be something you'll apply to the other activities in your life. And of course, I realized I wasn't doing that so well. So the other thing I found was that, hey, I commute every day. I never miss work. That's something I don't forget to do, is I don't forget to go to work. So I thought if I could turn my commute, my time by myself, getting to the train, walking, standing, going up and down stairs, if I could turn that into some sort of disciplined practice with myself, well, then I might really turn up the rigor in the way I understood what I was doing and be able to organize myself that much better. And so that's what I did. I really turned my commute time and my walking and even my sitting on the train into a study. And it was incredibly useful right away. And it has continued to be useful to me. The other thing is that living in New York City, you're surrounded by other people. So you constantly are gaining practice by watching the way other people sit, stand, and walk. And of course, I did this to a certain extent in my earlier years. But as I practiced more and more and studied my own walking, this observational part of it became very, very rich because I got a lot better at understanding what I was seeing in watching other people walk and how they stood and how they sat on the train, and understanding where their support was and why this might lead to comfort or discomfort or strength or whatever you want to look at. So for me, it was really about upping the discipline in the way I applied this stuff to my life. And to me also, I am not terribly interested in extreme activities. Like I don't have a dream of climbing Mount Everest or walking the Camino or running a marathon. These are not things that really are things that I want to do. I know that other people really love them. But my dream is a little more modest, which is I would really like to be able to live a long, healthy life and be well into my 90s and still be that guy that just walks very, very competently. And to be able to maintain that through my later years with a lot of safety and a lot of strength. So that's one of my dreams, and that was really part of the reason that I started to focus on it, because I noticed in my own walking I really lacked quite a bit of understanding. The other part of why I focus on walking is experiences I've had working with clients. And I've really had the privilege over the years to work with a number of people who, for a number of different reasons, whether they're disease processes or injuries or simply age, I've worked with a number of clients who over the years really came to my office around the time at which walking was really no longer going to be part of their life. It was a function that had degraded so much that they were really facing that moment that that pretty much everybody faces, whereas you no longer have the ability to walk. And it was really an incredibly sad experience. Nobody looks forward to this, but also the shock that most people experienced was something I noticed. It wasn't so much the difficulty or even the pain or the lack of coordination that people suffered with, as much as the confusion. Why is this happening to me? Something I did my whole life, something that I've just relied on unconsciously, suddenly I'm not able to do it anymore. And that to me was really, really instructive personally, because I saw these moments very, very clearly. And the people that I worked with who got better were the ones who were somehow able to look at the difficulty and see that they simply were going to have to reconstruct, refine, and take on this activity that they had done perfectly fine their entire lives, and just learn how to do it all from scratch again. And those people that really brought their curiosity to it were the ones that really improved the most. The attitude was so instructive to the process. So those two factors, really for me, were the most important thing. The other thing I noticed, that as I've worked with clients who are not at the very end of the functional life of their walking, is that for most people, they really don't have any criteria. We just walk. We don't really remember how we learned to walk. And for the most part, until something really drastically goes wrong or we're having quite a lot of pain, we don't really think about what our criteria are for how we support ourselves when we walk. And for me, this just became extremely interesting. It's something that you're observing all the time, you just don't know that you're observing it, and with yourself as well as other people. So those are really my reasons. It's just, for me, it's an endlessly refinable activity. When you're walking well, life feels pretty good. And as a level of difficulty also, walking is an activity where the base of support that you have is pretty much the smallest. You're only on your feet, and sometimes you're only on one foot when you're walking. So with the high criteria within the Feldenkrais method, this challenge was really quite fun for me, and continues to be. So that's why.